will die, mortal.
Hello everybody, Crow back again with another pickups video. Now, since my last pickup video, I actually had started to get a large number of DVDs. So what I'm going to start out with here are the DVDs I've gotten since then. Some of them I even got like the same day, like right after I made that last pickups video. So we'll get started with that. Just because I have it here, I got the Captain America, the First Avenger. Now, I saw this in theaters, and I really liked it, and I liked how they really stuck to the origins of Captain America, and didn't really stray off too much from that. I really liked the way they went with this. So, my wife actually got this for me. I saw it sitting on the table. I didn't know if it was for me or for somebody else, and she's like, no, it's for you. Okay, thanks. And then I had this pre-ordered for about 3 months before it actually came out, and that was Mystery Science Theater 3000, Volume 22. It comes with four episodes on here, 4 discs, 4 episodes. We got, let's just flip that around. You got Time of the Apes, you got Mighty Jack, you got The Violent Years, and The Brute Man. And actually, the Violent Years has got to be my favorite out of all of these. Brute Man, second. And then I'd have to say Time of the Apes and then Mighty Jack. But still, these are still really entertaining to watch. And I actually pre-ordered the next one, and that doesn't come out till February. So as soon as I see these go pre-order, I get them. And the reason for that is some of the times these box sets get discontinued, or they released a movie they shouldn't have, or something happens. There's 2 box sets that are worth over $150 now, just because they had to stop selling them because they didn't have the rights to do the movie at the time. So being a big fan of Mystery Science Theater alone is a reason to get that. But the fact that these box sets could disappear at any time is another reason just to pick them up right when they come out. And I usually order them off of Amazon. This was around $40, which is $10 a movie. So that's pretty decent, especially if the value of this goes up. So excuse me. And I don't expect it to go up. But looking at the past box sets, they really don't go down that much either. So you're not really saving yourself any money by waiting. You're better off just buying them brand new. Next thing I got is the Angry Video Game Nerd Volume. Angry Video Game Nerd Volume 5. Been a fan of the Angry Video Game Nerd since I first saw his YouTube videos back in end of 2006. So I'm really surprised to see how far he's come in that time. So I always get the DVDs. I always do. You could say that he's lost his edge or whatnot. But you know what? Some of the episodes on this I really like. I really like the Glitch Gremlin one. That's probably one of my favorite ones. I mean, I like the older ones too, where he just talks about the game. But some of these ones with the special effects and everything are pretty funny too. So say what you will, he's still funny. Funny and entertaining. The main issue is that people they see him and they think he's really doing reviews. He's not really doing reviews. He's doing a show. Okay, and then I bought this. I haven't seen this yet. It's Futurama Volume 6. I really stopped watching TV around the time Futurama originally went off the air. So when it started to come back, I'm still not watching TV. So I see these when they come out on DVD. So Futurama, I still love it, but I'm in no hurry to watch it, let's just say. I don't plan on watching this until I finish all of Doctor Who. I still got 3 seasons left to go to catch up. So there's that. And, here's something I didn't even know was out. I was waiting for it to come out like last year. Yeah, last year about this time I was waiting for these to come out, and then I just forgot about it. And then I was like, wait a minute, like this was like sometime after we got back from vacation. I was like, wait a minute, these came out? I have to buy them. And they weren't as cheap as I would have liked, but I still had to get them just to complete the whole series. This is my favorite anime. That is Fist of the North Star. So, yeah, this is Volume 3. This finishes up the whole story arc with Rao. And then I got the Volume 4, which was almost called, I think it's called like Fist of the North Star 2 or something like that, which is a whole separate story after the defeat of Rao. Not as good as the original series, but I had to get these just to finish up my box set. You know, there's how many DVDs? This one has got like 5 DVDs, I think. 6 DVDs, and then 5 DVDs. 5 DVDs, 6 DVDs. Yeah, because this is volume 4. And kind of the only thing I'm disappointed with, and I like the very first volume had Japanese, had Japanese audio and an English dub. But every volume after that has only had the Japanese language. And, you know, even though I like the Japanese language first, I was kind of enjoying watching the series again with the English dub just to see what they did with it. But, you know, after that first volume, they stopped doing that. So I'm really glad to have these. I mean, you can watch these on Hulu, I think. You know, I actually had torrented them originally, but I really, really like these. It's worth having on DVD for me. And then, actually, I'm going to say finally. There's actually 5 box sets I have here, but I'm going to count them as one because I got them all at the same time. I'm just going to mention that if it wasn't for Mondo Coolcast, I wouldn't have bought these. I was, like, on the Mondo Coolcast live stream. He does, Jerry Terrifying does that every Thursday night. I can't always make it Thursday night. I usually can't make it Thursday night, but sometimes I do, and I go in the chat. And somehow Dragon Ball came up, or Dragon Ball Z, and we were talking about the different box sets or whatnot. And I said that, oh, Dragon Ball has got the box sets, but I was like, I didn't want to get them because they're widescreen. And Jerry Terrifying was saying, no, they're not widescreen. And I just assumed they were widescreen because that's what they did with Dragon Ball Z, and they're in very similar packaging. So I was like, really? So I went to go on Amazon to check. To see if they really were in the standard aspect ratio. And they were. But not only that, each box set was only like $11 to $14. And so I added every single box set to my cart to see how much it would be. It was like $63 with free shipping. So that's what I wound up buying, the entire Dragon Ball series. I always thought this was more entertaining, much more... of better storytelling than Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, I still haven't opened these yet. I'm still watching a lot of stuff, and I've got a lot of other DVDs to watch, and I've already seen all these. But for $11 a piece, you really can't beat, you know, having the entire Dragon Ball series on DVD. I mean, but I was actually waiting for this a long time because there was an issue with like the first 13 episodes. They couldn't release the first 13 episodes because somebody else owned those. They had to wait for the rights to lapse and everything. And by then I had already seen them all and I wasn't really interested. But seeing them for that cheap and knowing that they're in the proper aspect ratio, I had to buy them. All right, that's it for DVDs. My wife actually went to Goodwill. Actually, one of these things isn't from Goodwill, so I'm going to go with that first. Actually, I think we bought this at Target, and she bought herself the Hidden Mystery Salem Secrets, and that's one of these games where you see an image and you try to, you know, pick out which images, you know, certain things from the pictures or whatever. She likes these kind of games, and she also likes it because our cat's name also happens to be Salem, one of our cats. So she had to get this. It wasn't that much either. I think it was like $10, so that was almost a no-brainer for her. And then she went to Goodwill and picked up a bunch of games. A lot of these I never even heard of, or I didn't have. I'm surprised I didn't have some of these. This one I never heard of, called Winback. What was that? Winback Covert Operations. It looks like that was $3.99. Star Wars Episode 1, Battle for Naboo. You know, $3.99. You know what? I really don't really pick up that many Nintendo 64 games, and really because they seem to go for a lot more than I'd like to pay for them. $4 seems decent though for these. Snowcross for, you know, Nintendo 64. $3.99. We have Our Marines Project Swarm, you know, $3.99. Yeah, see what? Oh, and of course the infamous Daikatana for $3.99. I've never actually played this. I don't know how well it would actually be on the Nintendo 64. And then we have Xena, Warrior Princess. What does that say? The Talisman of Fate, $3.99. Actually, never was. I kind of watched the Hercules, the Adventures of Hercules, or whatever that show was called with Kevin Sorbo. But by the time I had stopped watching it, by the time Xena came out, I kind of wished I had watched Xena, and I might do that sometime in the future if I completely run out of stuff to watch. Only because Bruce Campbell's in it as the Prince of Thieves in occasional episodes, so that might be worth it for me to watch just for that. I don't know how much this was. We have Guitar Hero on Tour Decades for the Nintendo DS with the thing. I really don't know how much she paid for this because there's no price tag on it. Oh. And then we have, how much was this? I can't tell. She takes the stickers off, and she says she does it because she's bored, but I think she does it so she doesn't know how. So I don't know how much she paid for them. We have Thrillville, Off the Rails. Really don't know anything about this. If it's like a wow, that's weird. If it's like a roller coaster tycoon type of thing, or if it's something different than that. But I just noticed that there's a little thing here. New, crash 'em. Cause a little mayhem if that's your thing. And that it is my thing. That looks like a very entertaining screenshot right there, if that'll focus in right there. Just roller coaster people exploding in midair. That seems pretty cool. Oh, even the cover. Look at that. They're like, the track's missing there. So I really don't know anything about this game. Might have to check this out sooner rather than later. Now, next game, she knew I had it, but she picked up anyway. Mr. Driller, a decent game for the PlayStation. She picked it up because it was $2. And here's a game I was kind of looking at another store, but I kept passing on it just because of the price. But that's One Piece Mansion, which seems like a kind of unusual puzzle game by Capcom, no less. And that was $2. And then finally for the Dreamcast, a Dreamcast game I don't own, Striker Pro 2000. So it's a soccer game. $2.99. So she picked that up because she knew I didn't have it. And finally, get to some Christmas stuff here. Not too much Christmas stuff. Mostly everybody gave me money and stuff, so because they don't know what games to get me. So, firstly, this is just kind of a random thing. I got this Mario Connect thing, and I already built them up here. Not too bad. Mario on a motorcycle, kind of like a Mario Kart-ish type of deal, I guess. Not too bad, so it's kind of weird. Kind of cheap Lego-y type of deal there. And actually, this is something I was going to buy. But my wife insisted on buying it instead, just so she had something actually to give me for Christmas. And I'll explain that statement after I show this. But I was going to buy this at GameStop because it was marked down to $30. And that is the Tron Evolution Collector's Edition set. The reason I think nobody ever bought this at regular price was because it was $129. $130 for this. And that's why I don't think anybody wanted to buy it. It's going on clearance everywhere. If you look on Amazon now, you could get this for $30 if you're so inclined. But after opening it up, I can honestly say it is definitely not worth $130. Maybe $50. Maybe $50, but $30 seemed okay price for this. And I actually have it right here. This is the thing here. It's a nice little thing. But actually, the real Tron toys are better than this. Honestly, they don't come with the stand, but the actual bike itself is a lot better than this is. This does light up, and it took me a long time to figure out where the button is. It's right here, so that does light up the back and his light cycle and everything. But yeah, whatever. And I'll have to put this on display somewhere. But this is not worth $70 extra. So I mean, and it has a little tray there, compartment for the game itself, which I just put in there for fun. And yeah, it's that. Now, the reason she wanted to get this for me to actually give me something for Christmas is because for Christmas, I decided I wanted this. The PS Vita. So what she did was she went and pre-ordered one for me. She actually paid the whole thing off. So when February 22nd rolls around, I could just walk in and buy one. Or not buy one, pick it up. So she's got the reserve for that. So what she did was she took a box, an empty box, printed out a picture of it, cut it out, and put it in the box, and was like, "Here you go." Even though I knew I was getting, I already knew she did that because I happened to be in the store when she pre-ordered it, just so I made sure she got the right one. I'm getting the Wi-Fi only one. I don't understand the 3G one, honestly. I don't understand why 3G. Why not 4G? Why not have the best speed available at this point in time instead of 3G? I just don't understand that. But honestly, I'm not going to need the 3G. I honestly probably be using this at home at my friend's house more than likely. And I got Wi-Fi here and there, so yeah. This honestly seems to be more impressive to me than the 3DS. Let me just a little sidetrack about what I think of the 3DS. When the 3DS came out, well, actually, when it was announced, I was all hyped for it. But as that year rolled around, I was kind of getting hesitant about it. I was like, what does it have? I mean, other than the 3D effect, the graphics really don't look all that good to me. It doesn't really have... I don't know. I was really up in the air about it. So what I did was for my wife's birthday, which happened to be just shortly after the 3DS was released, I bought her a 3DS. And I played with it since then. I kind of don't like the 3D effect that much. I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, but I can't... It's really annoying, I think. I don't know. It's cool, but annoying. I can't really explain it. It really doesn't seem that impressive to me. So I was like, okay, well, I was thinking, well, maybe I'll get one for Christmas. But then they came out with, oh, look, we're having a second analog stick add-on to it. And I'm like, why? Okay, so a lot of people there's a split among this saying, oh, Nintendo screwed up. They're adding, they know that they should have added a second analog stick, so this is what they're doing. And then there's another group of people saying, no, not all the games are going to require it because, because whatever, just because that's the way it is. But I honestly think that Nintendo sometime in the near future, or probably sometime next year, is going to announce or even release a new version of the 3DS that has a second built-in 3D pad. I honestly think that's going to happen. So why would I want to get the 3DS that's out now if there's right now just a hint of a revision in the future right away? So I might just wait to see what that revision is. Wait till next year. But the Vita, to me, looks... I mean, right off the bat, there's 3 games that are being launched with it that are a must-have for me. And that is the Wipeout 2048, Touch My Katamari, and the Hot Shots Golf game, because I loved Hot Shots Golf. And the PSP versions were the best versions of Hot Shots Golf I've played so far, so I can't wait to see the Vita version. So, yes, it's gone. That's a long video. Last thing. I'm going to make this video even longer. I just now, this morning, and right now at this minute, it looks like my download is complete, actually. I'm upgrading my video editor. I had been using Pinnacle Studio 14, but I kept occasionally getting an email from Pinnacle saying, hey, why don't you upgrade to either Pinnacle Studio 15 or Avid Studios. And this morning, since I got so much cash for Christmas, I was like, you know what? I'm going to upgrade to Avid Studios. Just hopefully there's 3 things I'm hoping that it'll solve. One is that Pinnacle Studio 14 crashes a lot on me. Maybe once every time I use it. The only upside to that is that when it crashes and I bring it back, it's right back where I left it. So I really only lose about 20 or 30 seconds of time when it crashes. So that wasn't enough for me to upgrade it right away. The other thing is that video file formats, I'm hoping that, I think it even was mentioned in the statistics, is that the file formats it can take are better, because the format of the file I use from the camcorder and something else I used. I think the, no, not the capture device, but at least the camcorder. I have to convert it before Pinnacle will accept it because it doesn't know what to do with this file format. And then finally, infinite number of time streams. With Pinnacle Studio 14 and even 15, I'd be limited to only 2 layers of video. And with Avid Studios, it's unlimited. So that's why I'm upgrading. And as soon as I'm done clicking this video off, I'll be installing that. So thanks everyone for watching. See you all next time. Bye.
You know, women can multitask while they're making love.